Hello. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to start with section 2 today, and we're going to be doing coordinates, the coordinates piece only today, and then we'll split the notes up and next time do the rest of the topics. So let's get started. I'm just going to go really quickly through the learning targets. So the learning targets that we're going to cover today are graph points in the Cartesian plane. That's it. That's all we're doing today. So let's get started. Let me move this up so you can see it. So I have already filled in this set of notes so that you can just copy it. So let me move this up. Yours isn't filled in yet, so you're going to have to take time to do that. You can pause the video to do that if you want. And label this. You can see that I labeled the origin is just at 0, 0. The x-axis falls right here. The y-axis falls right here. This is quadrant 1. X is positive and y is positive in this quadrant. This is quadrant 2. X is negative because it's the left side of the y-axis, so x is negative and y is positive in this quadrant. This is quadrant 3, where both x and y are negative. This is quadrant 4, where x is positive because you would go to the right, but then you would have to go down, so y is negative. Hopefully that makes sense. To get in this quadrant, you'd have to go to the right and then up, so that's why it's positive, positive. To get to this quadrant, you'd have to go left and then up, so that's why it's negative, positive. To get in this quadrant, you'd have to go left and down, so both are negative. And to get into fourth quadrant, you'd have to go to the right and down. Okay, so that's why if you're going to the right, then the x value is positive. If you're going to the left, the x value is negative. If you're going up, the y value is positive. If you're going down, the y value is negative. So finish copying that, and then we'll move forward. Okay, so in this next section, all it wants us to do is determine the quadrants in which x and y are located so that the conditions are satisfied. So the first condition that we see here is that x has to be less than 0. Well, for x to be less than 0, that means you'd be to the left of the axis. So that means this would be a negative. So x would be negative, and y is greater than 0, so y would be positive. So you're looking for the quadrant where x is negative and y is positive. So if you were going to graph this, you would go left to get the negative and then up to get y to be positive. So you would be in this second quadrant. Okay? On number 2, x is greater than 0, which makes it positive, and y is less than 0, which makes it negative. So if we were to graph this, we would have to go to the right because it's positive, and then down because y is negative, and that would put us in this fourth quadrant. So you're going to have to memorize your quadrants. Okay. Now this one's a little bit tricky because it's saying when x and y are multiplied together, I will get a positive. Now, the only way x and y could give me a positive is if they were both positive. So positive times a positive is a positive. So they could both be positive, right? Or a negative times a negative is also positive. So if x were negative and y were negative, then that would give me a positive as well, wouldn't it? And so there's two answers here. We could be in the quadrant where they're both positive, which is quadrant 1, or we could be in the quadrant where they're both negative, which is quadrant 3. So there's two answers, quadrant 1 and 3. Okay, that was pretty fast and furious. Now what you're going to do is your web assign over the Cartesian plane. Okay, have a great day.